guys, welcome to my channel. It is Christian here. Thank you so much for joining me today. And it is Wednesday, and you know the drill. On Wednesdays we do our Will I Buy It, and basically Will I Buy It is where I talk about 4 to 5 different brand new products that are about to release to the market or have already released to the market, and we're going to open discussion on why or why not I am going to purchase those items. Being a self-proclaimed makeup junkie, and if you are not new to my channel, you kind of know that I don't even know if it's self-proclaimed or if it's just legitimately like the truth, that I have a lot of makeup. I purchase a lot of makeup. I love makeup. Makeup is my passion. Makeup is my hobby. And up until a couple of months ago, when, especially since I started YouTube, when like new things hit the market, I just kind of felt like I had to have it, had to try it, had to review it for you guys, and it just became too much. So with this Will I Buy It series, I take a minute to kind of talk about and discuss with y'all whether or not I think that these products are actually worth it. It has to have a little bit more than just some cute packaging and good marketing to kind of draw my attention in. Of course, cute packaging always helps. Of course, marketing always helps. And of course, our favorite influencers talking about these products really kind of intrigues us, but it's not enough anymore, you guys. It is not enough. Like, you've really got to like wow me, like super duper wow me, or I feel like be a little bit more unique or a little bit more original, or things like that, just to kind of make me want to make that splurge. But anyways, that was the long explanation of Will I Buy It. So before I get into the video, I just want to say that if you are new to my channel, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you do not mind, go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below. Subscribing to my channel just ensures that you don't miss any future upcoming videos. I post 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, usually, hopefully, most weeks. So go ahead and hit that button down below. And if you are not new to my channel, welcome back. Thank you for continuing to join and support. And yeah, let's go ahead and get into this week's Will I Buy It. So the first thing that we're going to be talking about is the new Huda Beauty palette. It will release on September 18th on Sephora US and Australia. It will also release on Cult Beauty, Shop Huda Beauty. Those are a couple of places that it will be coming out, so about a little over a month away. It will have 18 shadows, 8 of them will be matte, 6 of them will be pressed pearls, 3 duochrome toppers, and 1 pure glitter. Now, I do not know a price as of right now, but her rose gold palette, which I do have, retail for $65. So I would assume that it'll be somewhere in the same price point. One thing that the rose gold palette had that did not have, that this palette will have, is a mirror. So that is something that I think that they heard everybody talking about and complaining about, and decided to go ahead and throw a mirror in the new palette. I actually liked the old packaging of the palette. I thought it looked really nice. I know a lot of people hated on it, but I liked it. I thought it was aesthetically pleasing in my opinion. I feel like the colors in the palette look really, really pretty. I will go ahead and say that, like, I am naturally drawn to the palette. It does have a lot of, surprise, surprise, warm tone eyeshadows in there. There's a couple of purples. There's a lot of coppers. The duochrome shades look really, really pretty. But here's the thing, Huda Beauty, those duochrome shades are meant to be worn with your finger and applied with your finger. And even with that, I didn't dislike her last palette, but I didn't think it was worth the $65. I definitely think it was overpriced for what it was. Now, with this palette looking as beautiful as it does, Huda Beauty knocks packaging out of the park, in my opinion. I want to see what the price point on this palette is going to be. I'm going to go ahead and assume that it's going to be the $65 again, because it has the exact same amount of shades as the rose gold palette, and they added a mirror. I would like to see this palette at a little bit cheaper of a price point. Like, if it was in the $50 price range, I could see myself justifying purchasing it, but at the $65 price range, I don't know that it's going to be something that I could justify purchasing. I've used her rose gold palette a few times, you know, since the initial hype around the product. You know, I saw a lot of videos where people just kind of bashed it, said it wasn't really that good. I think it's one of those types of palettes that you either are going to love or you're going to hate. I think that this palette is going to be similar to the rose gold palette, especially if she kept the formulations of her eyeshadows the same. I have to force myself to use the rose gold palette. I think the colors in there are absolutely beautiful and absolutely stunning. I don't think that the matte shadows are bad in that palette either. I just think that the shimmer shadows are just a little bit harder to like deal with. I don't mind using my finger, but it's not my preferred method of use. If I could definitely use a brush to apply my eyeshadows, that is what I would rather do. I think it's gonna have to be one of those situations where I'm gonna have to look at reviews and go in and actually swatch the palette myself, because the reviews and the hype behind the rose gold palette were so intense and so real that I just kind of felt almost obligated to like talk about it and purchase it and see what it actually was. Huda Beauty is just so huge in the makeup industry, and she, for the most part, I pretty much like her products. I didn't like her highlighter at first, but the more I use it, the more I actually do like it. Her liquid lipsticks I kind of am really into, and you guys know that the Samantha lashes by Huda Beauty are like my absolute favorite pair of lashes. If I'm gonna put on false lashes, chances are it's gonna be those. So I think she makes really, really good products. I think that this is something that I will potentially buy. I don't think it's going to be anything that I would rush out and get like on launch. Like, it's not something that I would set my alarm for and be like, okay, when the second this launches on Sephora's website, I have to purchase. I don't think it's that serious, but I think it's something that I want to purchase, and I kind of want to give her eyeshadow palette one more chance, get her eyeshadows one more go. But I feel like if I purchase it and I don't like it, if this time I honestly would return it if I didn't like it. The rose gold palette I kept like playing with and kind of, you know, trying to make up my mind, and then I just kind of decided that it wasn't actually worth the cost. So we'll have to, this one I think is one that I'm gonna purchase. I definitely want to wait for it to be available in store, and like so I can actually touch it and play with it and feel it and swatch it. But it does look really beautiful. I guess I'll kind of have to keep you updated on whether or not I will actually be purchasing that. Okay, so something that I will not be purchasing, and you have to give them points for originality. We are kind of living in right now a very neutral, warm tone eyeshadow palette world. Like, that is what is on the market. That is what everybody is releasing. That is what people keep complaining about. That's all brands are releasing, and yet we keep buying them. Now, I will not be purchasing this for the simple fact that I would never in life wear a full-on colorful eyeshadow palette. I have more than enough colorful eyeshadow palettes in my collection that I do not use, that I do not reach for. So there is absolutely no need for me to purchase this. This is the PUR Cosmetics My Little Pony The Movie Collection eyeshadow palette. Now, the eyeshadow palette retails for, oh, it's less expensive than I thought it would be. The eyeshadow palette is only $29. It's $29, and it does come with 16 different eyeshadows. Now, the collection also includes glosses that are going to be $16 each. A set of, it's called the Magic of Friendship set. It is 3 all-in-one glow sticks for your face, eyes, or lips. $22 each, a brush set plus pouch, and it's 6 pieces for $49. Now, I will not wear any of this. I would never use any of this. It looks super, super cute. And like I said, at least it's something unique. At least it's something original to the makeup world a little bit. Like, I'm looking at this palette and I'm kind of like, hey, it doesn't have, you know, the oranges, and it doesn't have the burgundies, and it doesn't have, you know, 50 shades of brown. I appreciate that. I'm here for that. I can respect you for that. But me, as a makeup consumer, I like my 50 shades of brown. You know what I mean? I'm here for it. I like it. You know, I might want a cool tone brown today, and tomorrow I might want a warm tone. Just let me and my browns live. Now, it's to the point where it's like, okay, enough is enough. And this is a breath of fresh air. And if you are the type of person, and the price actually is not bad at all for the brushes, for any of it actually, they're really, really good price points. Now, I've never really tried PUR Cosmetics eyeshadows. I've never really tried much of anything from PUR Cosmetics that I'm trying to like think in my head. Off the top of my head, I cannot think of really anything. It's not a brand that when I go to Ulta, I'm pretty sure they're sold at Ulta, that I gravitate toward. Now, if you are a lover of color, if you want a palette, like if you don't have a staple palette that have like pops of color, I think that this might be something that would work for you, because I think everybody does need, because you never know, you need a palette that has colors, at least one, whether it's a 5-pan palette, a big like one of the Urban Decay Vice palettes, or one of those, the electric palette from that has been discontinued. But I think it's definitely a good investment to have a colorful eyeshadow palette, because you never know. But I've got like 5 and I don't use any of them, so I will be passing on this. I would never wear any of those lip glosses. I mean, I have, you know, the carrying case for the brushes is super cute as well, but I've got, you know, more brush holders behind me and in front of me that I would ever need in life. And I've got a million little pouches if I ever travel, which I never do, to store my brushes in. Now, the brushes themselves actually look really cute, but I just spent $130 on Wayne Goss eye brushes, and those brushes I feel like have been game changers for my eye makeup. So I think I'm set on brushes for a while. I think I want to maybe buy some more Wayne Goss brushes somewhere down the line, but I think that this collection, though cute, is not a need. It's not a necessity. It's not something that I would get any use out of or any benefit out of. I'm not one for color. I'm not, you know, I'm not an editorial makeup artist typey person. I'm going to throw some browns in the crease or some purples. I'm going to throw a shimmer or a matte shade on the lid, and I'm going to keep it moving. So this collection is kind of lost on me. Cute though, and like I mentioned, commend PUR Cosmetics for doing something a little bit different. And plus, I was never a My Little Pony fan as a kid. I totally watched Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers. So I totally get it. Glittery lips, glossy lips, shimmery lips. It's a trend. Like, I get it. And I feel like with the makeup industry, like, somebody comes out with something, a blogger, you know, talks about, oh, we love this. And then every other makeup company under the sun has to come out with the exact same thing. I've got lines in my lips. I like a glossy lip. I will admit that I like a glossy lip, but I don't want a metallic lip, y'all. We got Kat Von D coming out with metallic lips. Now we have, who is this? Who are you? Okay, so they are the Ciate London Glitter Flip. It's a liquid lipstick with glitters. Or I can just put my glittery eyeshadow on my lips. I just feel like it's to the point, like, a lot of the stuff that's coming out now, if you wanted to have a glittery lip, like, honestly, you can take a loose glitter that you already have in your collection and dab it on your clear lip gloss. We do not need to spend $19, $20, $25 on glittery lip glosses. Now, I know some of the other lip glosses that are coming out, I think like the Huda Beauty ones, I think that those are just like a sheen, like a super bright like sheen. I don't think that those have actual glitter particles in them. Whereas the Ciate, I could be wrong. Becca ones as well, they're not like glittery from what I've seen. Now, these said that they have actual glitter in them. I do not want, and if you are more mature, you do not want lipstick or lip glosses with glitter in it. I got lines. I got a lot of lines in my lips. And I get it, they will accentuate your lips. They're trendy. They'll make your pout look a little bit fuller and things like that. Well, I've already got naturally full lips, so I'm good there. And I'm not gonna wear blue lipstick. I feel like unless you're super into Instagram and you're like an Instagram makeup artist or you're super edgy, you are not gonna wear a blue lipstick. You are not gonna wear a purple lipstick, and you are not gonna wear any of these lipsticks. You're just not gonna do it. And even, I feel like even the Instagram artists and even, you know, the YouTubers, they're doing it to review the products. They're doing it for the pictures. Typically the average person isn't gonna wear stuff like this. Now, I commend you if you can pull it off. I say more power to you. Like, I love seeing other people express themselves through makeup, but I would look crazy, y'all. I would look crazy. I don't want glitter on my lips. I don't really want glitter on my cheeks. I don't want glitter in my foundation. I don't want glitter. I don't even really want glitter on my eyes. Like, I want a nice shimmer and a nice sheen. The only glitter that I'm like all the way here for are the Magnificent Metals, and even recently I haven't even been into those because I've been into like an all matte look. I'm trying the Anastasia Subculture palette today, and I created the most absolute basic look that I possibly could using that palette because I was like terrified of it after all of the reviews. I like matte, I like glossy, I don't like glitter. So needless to say, I will be passing on the new Ciate London liquid lipsticks, and those will be releasing August 15th, which is actually tomorrow. Okay, so Too Faced, like the ultimate offender of coming out with the same stuff over and over and over again. Too Faced is releasing, I feel like this is is a total anti-haul right now. Am I like gonna buy anything? My will I buy it's are kind of turning into anti-hauls unintentionally. But Too Faced is coming out with a new matte palette that is going to retail for $45. It has 12 shades and it's all matte. And they are continuing to ride the peach gravy train all the way to the bank. And I'm kind of over it. But this is the palette here, and of course I will have a picture somewhere in the screen. I will not be purchasing this either, because I'm kind of over Too Faced, and I'm kind of over the whole peachy thing, and I'm kind of over them like milking everything like the same stuff over and over again. Like I love the chocolate bar palettes. You know that the original chocolate bar palette is one of my favorite. I love the semi-sweet. I think it's nice. I think the peach palette is decent. Like, I think it got way more hype than it deserved. So we're basically going to do the exact same thing as the peach palette, but it's going to be 12 eyeshadows instead. And they're going to be all matte, but they look like they're going to be mostly warm tones, and I just don't need it. Eyeshadow palettes these days, I feel like I'm kind of over eyeshadow palettes at this point, because I think that they're so much of the same. Like, it's so much of the same stuff over and over again, and it's one of those things that Too Faced tries to get you on, you know, their packaging, on their gimmick and things like that. And I think that too much of their stuff is just hit and miss recently, and I think that it's going to take something special for them to really draw people back in. I know they have a very large presence on social media, and they have a huge marketing, like huge marketing throughout social media. So It's to the point where so many influencers and like their products are everywhere. They are literally everywhere, to the point where it's almost to the point where you feel like, man, I've got to try that. It's got to be good. But on the other hand, it's kind of like, well, what is different about this palette versus the original peach palette, other than the fact that it's all matte? Now, one thing I will commend them on, this palette definitely looks a little bit more peachy. Now, I know when the original peach palette came out, Jared Blandino, who was creator of TwoFace, said that the palette was meant to be all stages of the peach. But you know, all of the stuff that he said to kind of get away with why he put 18 different browns in a peach palette, you know, I feel like this one at least has a couple of extra like true peachy tones versus the original peach palette, which I think is nice. But Too Faced, for the most part, if their palettes are good, they're actually really, really good. Like, they make quality products when they make quality products, if that makes sense. But I just don't need it. I have no intentions of buying it. There are times when if you guys want me to review things and talk about things, I would consider it, but this is just not something that I feel that I need. You know, I bought the peanut butter and jelly palette. While I thought it was really nice and really good, I don't even know where that thing is in my collection right now. It's the hype behind their stuff. Now, I will purchase probably the foundation just to kind of test it out, because you know I gotta test out new foundations. But I also don't see myself purchasing anything else from this collection, like none of it. I'm not here for that, and I will be passing on the Too Faced Just Peachy matte palette. Okay, so Becca Cosmetics and I meant to talk about this last week, but I forgot. Becca Cosmetics is releasing a new primer. It is actually already out, available on Ulta's website, and I believe you can also pick it up from Sephora. It does retail for $38. And this is the Velvet Blurring Primer, Perfecting Base. It says it is a liquid to powder blurring primer that instantly vanishes the appearance of pores, fine lines, and imperfections. It is a feather-light formula that leaves your skin porcelain smooth with an airbrushed finish. I want this. First of all, I really like Becca's primers, and you know, their more luminous primers are a lot more popular, and I've heard great things about their mattifying primer if you have oily skin. I've heard that's one of the best, so I can only imagine that this primer is actually gonna be really, really good. I do have larger pores. I love a good pore filling primer. I said a while ago, and this has been a long time, that I was gonna do a battle of the pore filling primers. But y'all, I keep buying pore filling primers. I have probably as many primers as I do foundations, close to it. But for some reason, this sounds super intriguing to me. Like velvet, like of course I want my skin to feel velvet. And I also feel like it's gonna be something that might also get, because it has more of a powder finish, you would think that I would be a little bit scared of it because I have drier skin. But I'm also hoping that it will kind of help mattify the parts of my skin that might get a little bit more oily. Now, it doesn't say anything about being a mattifying primer, but I just kind of feel like with a powder finish, it would be a little bit more on the mattifying side. I love the Becca primers that I have. I think that they're really, really good. I pretty much love all of Becca's base products. The full coverage foundation, I can't think of what it's called. I'll insert a picture. Before I really started testing out foundations and really finding what I liked and needed in foundations, I actually really love that foundation. I repurchased it 2 or 3 times at least. Now I feel like it's a little bit too thick for me, so it's not my favorite, but it's definitely a go-to if you have a super full coverage. I would recommend that. So overall, all in all, I really like Becca's base products. I mean, they have beautiful highlighters, they have beautiful blushes. Like, I feel like with the exception of their concealer that I felt was a little bit too sheer and a little bit too light coverage for me, almost everything that I've ever tried from Becca Cosmetics has been A1. I definitely want to try this primer. It is a little on the expensive side, but I have had my eye on it. I was actually on Ulta's website taking this in and out of my cart because I knew that I also wanted to try the Tarte foundation, the Tarte primer that I just hauled in yesterday's video that you would have already seen, and I didn't feel the need to buy 2 new primers, but this is definitely on my list, and this is definitely something that I will be picking up very, very soon. But yeah, you guys, that is pretty much it. That is this week's Will I Buy It? I really hope that you did enjoy this video today. Any of the products down below, were they on your radar? Have you picked them up? Have you thought about picking them up? Let me know what you think. I'm always curious about your thoughts and opinions on products. And if there are any products that you want me to talk about, or please tag me. My Instagram, my Twitter, and my Snapchat are all down below. Don't forget to subscribe if you have not subscribed already, and I will see you in tomorrow's video. Bye guys!